The Path of Truth. The Illustrated Dhammapada. Treasury of Truth. Part 26, The Brahmana. 383. O Brahman, strive and cleave the stream, desires of sense discard. Knowing conditioned things decay, be knower of the uncreated. 384. When by the twofold Dhamma a Brahman's gone beyond, all the bonds of one who knows have wholly disappeared. 385. For whom is found no near or far, for whom's no near and far. Free of fear and fetter free, that one I call a Brahman true. 386. Seated stainless, concentrated, whose work is done, who's free of taints. Having attained the highest aim, that one I call a Brahman true. 387. The sun is bright by day, the moon enlights the night. Armored shines the warrior, contemplative the Brahman true. But all day and night time too resplendent does the Buddha shine. 388. By barring out badness a Brahmin one's called, and one is a monk by conduct serene. Banishing blemishes out of oneself, therefore one's known as one who has left home. 389. One should not a Brahmin beat, nor for that should he react. Shame. Who would a Brahmin beat, more shame for any should they react. 390. For Brahmin no small benefit when mind's aloof from what is dear. As much he turns away from harm, so much indeed does dukkha die. 391. In whom there is no wrongdoing by body, speech or mind. In these three ways restrained, that one I call a Brahman true. 392. From whom one knows the Dhamma by perfect Buddha taught. Devoutly one should honor them as Brahman's sacred fire. 393. By birth one is no Brahman, by family, austerity. In whom are truth and Dhamma too pure is he, a Brahman's he. 394. Dimwit. What's the coiled hair for? For what your cloak of skins? Within you are acquisitive, you decorate without. 395. One enduring rag robes, lean, with body overspread by veins. Lone in the woods who meditates, that one I call a Brahman true. 396. I call him a Brahman though by womb-born mother's lineage. He's just supercilious if with sense of ownership. Owning nothing and unattached, that one I call a Brahman true. 397. Who fetters all has severed does tremble not at all. Who's gone beyond all bond, unyoked, that one I call a Brahman true. 398. When cutting strap and reins, the rope and bridle too. Tipping the shaft, he's waked, that one I call a Brahman true. 399. Who angerless endures abuse, beating and imprisonment. With patience's power, unarmed might, that one I call a Brahman true. 400. Who's angerless and dutiful, of virtueful and free of lust. Who's tamed, to final body come, that one I call a Brahman true. 401. Like water on a lotus leaf, or mustard seed on needle point. Whoso clings not to sensual things, that one I call a Brahman true. 402. Whoso in this world comes to know cessation of all sorrow, laid down the burden, freed from bonds, that one I call a Brahman true. 403. Whose knowledge is deep, who's wise, who's skilled in ways right and wrong. Having attained the highest aim, that one I call a Brahman true. 404. Aloof alike from laity and those gone forth to homelessness. Who wanders with no home or wish, that one I call a Brahman true. 405. Who blows to beings has renounced to trembling ones, to bold. Who causes not to kill nor kills, that one I call a Brahman true. 406. Among the hostile, friendly, among the violent, cool. Detached amidst the passionate, that one I call a Brahman true. 407. From whomever lust and hate, conceit, contempt have dropped away. As mustard seed from a point of a needle, that one I call a Brahman true. 408. Who utters speech instructive, true and gentle too. Who gives offense to none, that one I call a Brahman true. 409. Who in the world will never take what is not given, long or short. The great or small, the fair or foul, that one I call a Brahman true. 410. In whom there are no longings found in this world or the next. Longingless and free from bonds, that one I call Brahman true. 411. In whom there is no dependence found, with final knowledge freed from doubt. Who's plunged into the deathless depths, that one I call a Brahman true. 412. Here who's gone beyond both bonds, to goodness and to evil too. Is sorrowless, unsullied, pure, that one I call a Brahman true. 413. Who, like the moon, unblemished, pure, is clear and limpid, and in whom delights in being a consumed, that one I call a Brahman true. 414. Who's passed this difficult path, delusion's bond, the wandering on. Who's crossed beyond, contemplative, uncurving with no questioning doubt. No clingings fuel so cool become, that one I call a Brahman true. 415. Who has abandoned lusting here as homeless one renouncing all. With lust and being quite consumed, that one I call a Brahman true. 416. Who has abandoned lusting here as homeless one renouncing all. With lust and being quite consumed, that one I call a Brahman true. 417. abandoned all human bonds and gone beyond the bonds of gods. Unbound one is from every bond, that one I call a Brahman true. 418. Abandon boredom and delight, become quite cool and assetless. A hero, all worlds conqueror, that one I call a Brahman true. 419. Who knows how clutching creatures die to reappear in many a mode? Unclutching then, sublime, awake, that one I call a Brahman true. 420. Whose destination is unknown to humans, spirits or to gods. Pollutions stayed, unerrant, that one I call a Brahman true. 421. That one who's free of everything that's past, that's present, yet to be. Who nothing owns, who's unattached, that one I call a Brahman true. 422. One noble, most excellent, heroic too, great sage and one who conquers all. Who's faultless, washed, one awake, that one I call a Brahman true. 423. Whoso does know of former lives and sees the states of bliss and woe. And then who's reached the end of births, a sage supreme with wisdom keen. Complete in all accomplishments, that one I call a Brahman true.